Welcome, everyone. Today is July 16th, 2025. Welcome to Winning Wednesdays. There's several articles I wanted to discuss today, but we'll give it a minute before we start. We are live on YouTube and we are live on X today. So we welcome everyone on X. We welcome everyone live on YouTube. Peace to everyone. Peace to everyone that's joining. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know where you're joining from. All right. We'll give that a minute to warm up. Currently looking at the market here. Major indexes look so mostly green. I'm going to share my screen shortly. Mostly green today. The NASDAQ is slightly down, but everything else looks either flat or green. So that's where we are as of right now. Let's see here. Peace to everyone just now joining. Peace, Jen. Who else do we have? Peace to everyone in, where do we have people from? Let's see here. New York, Ohio, California, Florida, the Carolinas, where else? Nevada, Cali, Peace, James, Ohio in the building. All right. Let's take, okay, it's 2 minutes after. Yeah, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. I want to share my screen here. Share screen. A lot to discuss today. A lot going on in the financial markets. Let's see here. Let's take a quick look at the market here. Okay, so this is a live look at the market. Like I said, NASDAQ just slightly down. Triple Q is currently at 554. S&P, SPY currently at 621. VO 571. BTC. I know you guys like Bitcoin. Currently at 118.9, just under 119. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's chart. Let's see if we can go to the 5-day. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. 5-day on the big BTC. I believe it touched 123. Let's see, when was that 123? 123 was back on Monday, looks like. All right, so it's from 123 on Monday. Now it's back just below 119 on Wednesday. That's what BTC is doing. What else do we have? Coinbase, as a results, up near its all-time high, 399, or at its all-time high, 399. Let's see if I can get the chart to cooperate. 5-day. Okay, so it was about 401 back on. Oh, this morning was it 401? Looks like this morning. Okay, so that's what's going on with Coinbase. What else do we have? Microsoft 504, Meta 703, Netflix 1261, Nvidia 1. Okay, so I want to talk about the Nvidia right quick. The Nvidia, a lot of these chip makers jumped up yesterday on news that they were going to sell to China. Nvidia being one of them, and AMD also shot up a lot yesterday. What else do we have? Tesla 319, TSM. Let's see what's going on with TSM. TSM currently at 236. All right, so that's a quick summary of some of the tickers I follow, some of the indexes I follow. All right, but I wanted to jump in right into some of these articles because there's a lot to discuss. All right, so let's see what we got going on first. The first thing I wanted to discuss was the inflation report. All right, so as you may know, the inflation report came out yesterday. I want to talk about where inflation is and isn't. So let's take a look at the article. Let's take a look at the inflation article I wanted to discuss. Let's see here. I've got an article I want to share, and I've got a visual I want to share. So let's get to the article first. All right, let's talk about this article right here. Let me make sure I'm sharing the screen correctly. All right, here it is right here. Inflation accelerates in June as investors eye tariff-related price increases. All right, so let's take a look at this article. Inflation ticked higher in June, according to new government data released Tuesday, as investors continue to look for signs that President Trump's tariffs may be starting to work their way through to consumer wallets. All right, let's see what else it says. The latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show that the CPI increased 2.7%. Okay, so inflation increased 2.7% on an annual basis in June, an uptake from May's 2.4% gain that was driven by a reversal in falling gas prices. Economists had expected a headline inflation to come in at 2.6%. Okay, so latest inflation report, inflation is up 2.7% on an annual basis. Okay, on a monthly basis, prices rose 0.3% compared to May's 0.1% uptick, matching economists' estimates. On a core basis, which excludes volatile food and energy costs, CPI rose 2.9% over the past year in June, ahead of May's 2.8%. All right. All right, let's see what else it says here. The report landed amid renewed trade tensions between the U.S. and other countries. President Trump unveiled new letters to over 20 countries outlining tariffs ranging from 20% to 50%, including a 35% duty on Canadian goods and 30% tariffs on imports from Mexico and the European Union. He has also floated sweeping 15 to 20% tariffs on most trading partners. The EU, in response, is scrambling to negotiate while preparing potential countermeasures. All right, let's see what else it says here. The back and forth raises fresh questions about the Federal Reserve's rate-cutting path. Markets still expect the central bank to hold rates steady at its policy meeting in 2 weeks, largely due to the uncertainties on how tariffs will trickle through to prices. The odds of a September cut ticked just below 60% shortly after the release. All right, let's see what else it says here. Although inflation remained relatively muted in June, there are signs that tariffs may be starting to make their way through the system. Okay, it talks about apparel prices here. All right, let's see what else here. With inflation coming in softer than expected for the fifth month in a row, it may initially seem like there is still little sign of tariff-induced boost to the boost to inflation that the Fed has been expecting. Let's see. Well, she was referring to the slower than expected monthly gain in core prices. However, with these increases in categories like household furnishings, okay, here's what I was going to share with that visual in a minute. However, with increases in categories like household furnishings, recreation, and apparel, import levies are slowly filtering through to core goods prices. She noted that the tariffs usually take time to show up in inflation data, and because many imports were front-loaded, only a limited number of goods may have been affected so far. While any inflation bump from tariffs is likely to be temporary, the recent wave of new tariffs suggests the Fed would be wise to hold off on policy changes for the next few months. All right, so this article is from Yahoo Finance. Came out yesterday. All right, talks about egg price drops here. Let's see if there's anything else we should mention. Okay, all right, so it talks about food prices right here. Okay. All right, so that's the article from Yahoo Finance, which dropped yesterday. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Okay, so that's the article itself. I wanted to share this graphic that I saw on Yahoo Finance's social media. Let's see if I can share this correctly. Let me see here. It's a graphic that shows where inflation is and isn't. So here we go. Let me try to share it like this. Let's see here. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Again, I saw this graphic on Yahoo Finance's social media yesterday. So it just breaks down where the inflation is and isn't. So that top row, household energy, 7.1%. Okay, 12-month change in the price of household energy. So my understanding of that is utilities. Second, we have auto insurance, 6.1%, housing, 4%, restaurant meals, 3.8%, rental cars, rent, earnings, personal care, used vehicles, medical care, so forth. Let's see here. What else do we have towards the? Okay, so let's go to the bottom. So gasoline looks like it decreased. Airfare, electronics, hotel rooms, clothing, and transportation just slightly. All right, so it looks like gasoline and airfare decreased the most. But on the opposite end, we have household energy, auto insurance, housing, restaurant meals, rental cars, and rent. The top 4 or 5. All right, so that's where inflation is and isn't. The third one, no, not the third one down. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth one down, which is rent. Okay, we see rent increase 3.8%. To any landlords on today's call, consider raising your rental prices to keep up with inflation. According to this, rent has increased almost 4%. Housing. Okay, so for anyone that owns property, anyone looking to buy property, housing expenses increased 4% in the last 12 months. Okay, so this is a quick summary on where inflation is and isn't. So drop your comments, drop your thoughts into the chat regarding inflation. Okay, so I took this from Yahoo Finance, and this is accurate as of yesterday. All right, this is accurate as of yesterday. So what do you guys think about that? All right, so this is the first topic I want to discuss today: inflation. Inflation report came out yesterday, so this is where inflation is and isn't. All right, so what do you guys think about that? Okay, so Yahoo Finance said inflation is 2.7%. For any business owner, for any aspiring business owner, if inflation is 2.7%, consider raising the cost of your goods and services 2.7%. If your expenses increase by 2.7%, consider raising your prices 2.7% to keep up with inflation. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so inflation was the first topic I wanted to discuss today. Let's see what else we got. Another topic that I wanted to discuss. You guys may be aware of this week. I saw this article in Yahoo Finance as well. You guys that are crypto holders, this applies to you. Crypto Week. Let's talk about Crypto Week. Okay, Crypto Week. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Crypto Week pushes Bitcoin to record high as lawmakers weigh 3 key bills in DC. All right, so this article dropped Monday afternoon. Let's see what this says right here. Bitcoin rallied to a record high Monday, touching above 123,000. As Congress opens Crypto Week in Washington, D.C., that will see the House of Representatives weigh 3 key pieces of crypto-related legislation. I heard I heard the White House say, I think believe it was Trump or both Trump and the White House say that they wanted the United States to be crypto central. So let's see if these three laws pass. These three crypto laws pass. The rally in Bitcoin has been accompanied by a surge in stocks with crypto ties, notably Coinbase, Robinhood, and newly public stablecoin issuer Circle. Coinbase and Robinhood shares are trading at record highs. Circle stock has gained over 500% since its IPO in June. Wow. So Circle stock has gained over 500% since its IPO in June. Wow. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. So Bitcoin currently at 118,691, according to Yahoo Finance. The first bill up, the Genius Act, would implement the nation's first federal framework for stablecoins, cryptocurrencies whose value is tied to the dollar. Among the bill's central provisions, the Genius Act limits stablecoin issuance only to regulated issuers and requires that issuers hold reserves of dollars or another similarly liquid asset on a one-to-one basis backing the stablecoins. The legislation was passed in the Senate on June 17th. All right, so let's see what else we have here. The act is now set to come for a vote on the House floor on Tuesday, which was yesterday. Does anyone know the outcome of that? With House Republican leadership looking to send the bill to the president as early as the same day. Harder to pass will be the biggest ticket item on the docket this week. The Clarity Act, the major legislation package, will assign oversight over all digital assets except stablecoins to either the SEC or the Commodities Future Trading Commission, CFTC, depending on the asset. Let's see what else we have. Okay, the act defines digital commodities as digital assets whose value is tied to the use of blockchain. These assets will fall under the CFTC. Digital assets sold to investors as securities with investment contracts will largely be regulated by the SEC. All right, let's see what else it says here. All right, so does anyone know the outcome of yesterday's, what was it yesterday? The one that went to, let's see, I forget the name of that one that, was it the Genius Act? Does anyone know the outcome of that? Genius Act, Clarity Act, and was there one more? The third bill scheduled for a floor vote this week is the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, which would prevent the Federal Reserve from creating a central bank digital currency and block the Fed Board of Governors from using a CBDC to enact monetary policy. If the Clarity and Anti-CBDC Acts pass in the House, they will then go to the upper chamber for consideration before reaching President Trump's desk if the Senate pushes them through. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? More regulation, I believe, will be favorable for BTC, Ethereum, and other cryptos. So for anyone that holds crypto, I believe my thesis is more regulation means higher prices in the future. What do you guys think about that? Let's see here. Okay, so let me go to the comments here before we continue. Let me catch up. I know I'm missing a whole bunch of comments. Let me catch up to the comments. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Do you believe crypto? Let's see. Jen asked, do you believe crypto will crash again and reset? Should we sell at the height of it? Thoughts? Do you believe crypto will crash again? I personally believe it won't crash again. If you're talking about greater than a 20% correction or crash, I believe personally no. Should we sell at the height of it? Not investing advice. What I will say is you need to do whatever you believe is best. Oh, whatever you believe is best for you, that's what you should do. Whether that's sell, whether that's hold, whether that's buy more. That's my 2 cents. So Andrea says it passed. Which one are we talking about? Which bill had passed? The one that went yesterday, which was the, let's see, the Genius Act. Are you talking about the Genius Act? I'm looking at the article here. The Genius Act, then we had the Clarity Act, and then we have the Anti CBDC Surveillance State Act. I think in that same order. In that same order. All right. All right. So that's where we stand in terms of crypto week. That's where we stand in terms of crypto week. All right, let's look at. I want to take a live look at Yahoo Finance. Let's look at Yahoo Finance. Let's look at CNN Business, and let's look at CNBC. Let me share my screen here. All right, let me go back. Let's go back to Yahoo Finance. Those are some articles from earlier this week. I want to see what's going on today. All right, so some major headlines today. Trump is sending more signals. He may try to fire Powell. So it looks like Trump wants Powell out of his position. We'll see what happens there. Let's see what else here. I wanted to talk about this briefly. It was a great news for big banks. Several of these major banks reported earnings this week or will report earnings this week. I wanted to touch on that briefly. What else do we have here? Stocks on the bottom left. Stocks waver after Trump says not planning to fire Powell. This was as of 6 minutes ago. We'll see what actually happens. So that's a live look at Yahoo Finance headlines. I want to switch over to CNN Business. Let's see what's going on with CNN Business. All right, so this is a live look at CNN Business headlines. Let me scroll down here. Actually, let me refresh. Let me give this a refresh. All right, so CNN. Now, CNN says Trump suggests Fed renovations could be a fireable offense for Powell. So we have two different headlines, two different resources, two different headlines. What else do we have here? Let's see. NVIDIA says it will restart sales of a key chip to China in a reversal of U.S. restrictions. Here's how Trump's tariffs could be impacting prices for U.S. consumers. Apple spending a boatload of money to source material that's critical for iPhones from the U.S. What else do we have? Facebook privacy practices the focus of $8 billion trial targeting Zuckerberg. We talked about this a minute ago. Latest U.S. inflation report shows a pullback in travel. Pullback in travel spending and an increase in the cost of goods. All right, so for any business owner, if you're incurring a higher cost of goods, maybe you pass that on to your consumer. Maybe that thins out your margins. Maybe you consider passing those expenses on. All right, so that's a live look on CNN Business. Let's take a live look at CNBC.com. Let me stop sharing that one and let me share CNBC. Let's see what's going on there. I've got one more article I wanted to discuss. Oh, I shared the wrong screen. Let me share the correct screen here. Share screen. Here we go. All right, so this is a live look at CNBC. Let's see what's going on with their headlines. Let me give it a refresh. All right, so this is a live look at CNBC. Okay, so seeing the very top headline here in the red, S&P rebounds as Trump denies he is close to firing Fed Chair Powell. We'll see what actually happens. Let's check some of their major headlines. Jamie, on the bottom left here, Jamie on the side here, Jamie Dimon says JP Morgan will get involved in stablecoins as fintech looms. A couple of real estate headlines. Real estate firms race to put data centers on the moon and build space support. Okay, that's an interesting article. What else do we have here? Okay, so this headline says Trump denies that he plans to fire Powell. Highly unlikely. We know Trump likes to reverse course quickly, so we'll see what actually shakes out. S&P rebounds as Trump denies he is close to firing Fed Chair Powell. Live updates. Some other headlines. Okay, so you can check out some of these headlines on your own. Oh yeah, actually, I saw this headline. Interesting. Starbucks employees to return to the office 4 days a week or take a payout. This is an interesting article I saw on Monday. So that's a live look at CNBC. There's one other article I wanted to share and talk about. But before we get into that, let's drop some reminders. Let's drop some reminders before we get into that other article. A couple reminders in my notes here. First reminder is this one right here. Let me share my screen. Stop sharing that one and let me share this one. Today is July 16th, 2025. So we are about, let's see here. We are about 5 weeks out, roughly 5 weeks out from the ABC. ABC will be the weekend of August 21st. 21st, 22nd, 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia. There's always great information at these conferences, great energy, great vibe, great networking, great speakers. If you've never been to the ABC before, consider coming this year. I believe it'll be the biggest one to date. So check out this website right here. All Black National Conference. This is the Black Financial Literacy Store. Check out some of the information here. I believe the tickets are on the bottom here. General, you got the general access, you got the VIP, and I believe it's just general access and VIP this year. Again, it'll be in Atlanta. So for anyone interested in networking, anyone interested in whatever your concentration is, whatever your focus is, whatever your interest is, whether that's real estate, whether that's crypto, whether that's options, whether that's the stock market, whether that's entrepreneurship, whether that's side hustling, consider coming to Atlanta next month. I'll be there. It's a great way to level up. It's a great way to connect with people that are doing what you're interested in. It's a great way to build out your network. So that's a first reminder, ABC, third week in August in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, so that's the first reminder. I wanted to also remind everyone, maybe not remind everyone, but just make an announcement that tomorrow night I'll have a training on YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern. I want to share my screen here. There will be no link. There will be no registration link. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. There is no link. There's no registration link. There's no sign up. But let me make sure I have the right channel here. It'll be it'll be for free, live on YouTube. It'll be right here on the Financial Juneteenth website, right here under the live tab. So that this will be tomorrow night. This one right here, business models. I'll have a training on business models tomorrow night. It'll be free, live on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, just log on to the Financial Juneteenth website, YouTube channel, excuse me, and click on this live tab right here. That's where the training will be. Again, there will be no registration link. I'm going to talk about two business models, and I'm going to talk about ways we can increase our income. Okay, so that'll be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, a training on business models, live on the Financial Juneteenth YouTube channel. All right, so there's a couple of reminders before we continue. Check me out tomorrow night if that's of interest to you. All right, so there's a couple of reminders. All right. What do you guys think about that? Yep. Let's see here. Yep. 2.7%. Okay. So Andrea says Genius Act has passed. Okay. 2.7%. Yep. 2.7% is the inflation rate, latest inflation rate. Andrea says, I get why sellers added a line item on receipts explaining increased prices due to tariffs, inflation. Wow. Okay, I get why sellers added a line item on receipts explaining increased prices. You're right. So a lot of these companies incurred increased expenses, right? They have a higher cost of goods sold. They incur higher expenses, so they pass it on to the consumer. Yeah, it is the 10th anniversary of the A, B, and C. Yep, I believe they are partnering with. Let me see who they're partnering with again. I want to make sure I say this correctly. Let's see here. I believe it's like a joint venture this time around. So yeah, I believe even more people will be in attendance. So it's a great year to attend. Great year to attend. Okay, Jen says, "What's my topic for tomorrow night?" I'm going to have training on business models, the generalist business model and the specialist business model. So we're going to deep dive into those two business models, the generalist versus the specialist business model. Yep. National Business League. Okay, got it. I was looking at the website a minute ago, but I couldn't see it. All right, so yeah, Black Business School will partner with the National Business League next month in Atlanta. All right, so come check us out in Atlanta next month. Always great information. All right, so those are a couple of reminders I wanted to mention before we continue. I've got another article here. I've got a third article I wanted to share. I saw in Yahoo Finance. It is from Yahoo Finance, but this looks like it was picked from Reuters. So let's take a look at this one here. It has to deal with Broadcom and what they're doing. All right, let's check out what's going on with Broadcom. All right, so this is this article dropped yesterday morning. Broadcom launches the new Tomahawk Ultra networking chip in AI battle against NVIDIA. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on with this article here. Let's see here. Broadcom's ticker symbol AVGO chip unit unveiled on Tuesday a new networking processor that aims to speed AI data crunching, which requires stringing together hundreds of chips that work together. So Broadcom's competing directly with NVIDIA. Let's see. The new chip is the latest piece of hardware that Broadcom has brought to bear against rival AI giant NVIDIA. Broadcom helps Alphabet's Google produce its AI chips, which are perceived by developers and industry experts as one of the few viable alternatives to NVIDIA's powerful GPUs. Okay, so let's pause for the cause on this sentence right here. Broadcom helps Alphabet's Google produced its AI chips, which are perceived by developers and industry experts as one of the few viable alternatives to NVIDIA's powerful GPUs. Dubbed the Tomahawk Ultra, Broadcom's chip acts as a traffic controller for data whizzing between dozens or hundreds of chips that sit relatively closely together inside a data center, such as inside a single server rack. Broadcom is currently at 277. The chip aims to compete with NVIDIA's NVL Link switch chip, which has a similar purpose, but the Tomahawk Ultra can tie together 4 times the number of chips. This guy told Reuters in an interview. And instead of a proprietary protocol to move the data, it uses a boosted for speed version of Ethernet. Both companies' chips help data centers builders and others tie as many chips as possible together within a few feet of each other, a technique the industry calls scale-up computing. By ensuring close by chips can communicate with each other quickly, software developers can summon the computing horsepower necessary for AI. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing will manufacture the Ultra line of processors with its 5 nanometer process. The processor is now shipping. It took Broadcom's teams of engineers roughly 3 years to develop the design, which was originally built for a segment of the market known as high performance computing. But as generative AI boomed, the Broadcom adapted the chip. Okay, so here's a lesson right here for us. Here's a lesson right here for us in this sentence. But as generative AI boomed, Broadcom adapted the chip for use by AI companies because it is suited to scaling up. Okay, so on that sentence right there, what's the lesson right there? What's the key word in that sentence right there? What's the key word? Someone dropped the key word in the chat in that one sentence. What's the key word in that sentence right there? What's the one keyword in that sentence that I highlighted? But as generative AI boomed, Broadcom adapted the chip for use by AI companies because it is suited to scaling up. Scale, okay, I wasn't thinking scale, but it could be scale. What's the keyword in that sentence? Now think of a general business context. Think of a general business context. What's the keyword? As generative AI boomed, Broadcom adapted the chip for use by AI companies because it is suited to scaling up. What's the key word in that sentence? Scale boomed, AI boom. I was thinking adapted. I was thinking this word right here. We need to adapt. Okay. We need to adapt. Times change. We need to adapt. Technology changes. We need to adapt. Circumstances change. We need to adapt. Competitive environment changes. We need to adapt. So if we're a business owner or if we're an aspiring business owner, we need to be able to adapt. Okay, we need to be able to adapt. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so that's the article. Okay, so Broadcom's making moves. They're partnering with Google. They're not just falling back. They're not just giving up. They are partnering with Google. I think it said Google. Yeah, Broadcom helps Google produce its AI chips. They're partnering with other big companies, and they're competing directly with the market leader, NVIDIA. Okay, so Broadcom is one of the biggest companies in the world. They're not just sitting back crying and complaining that NVIDIA's taken their market share and mind share. They're making moves on their own. So that's a lesson in itself, right? Don't just sit back, cry and complain. Make a move, make a plan. Okay. All right, so that's a Yahoo Finance article. I also wanted to share companies that are reporting earnings this week. So let me share my Grok screen. I think I already asked the AI what companies are reporting this week, And here's the results. Here's the results. I just asked AI earlier today. If I scroll up here, what companies report earnings this week? A lot of the big banks: J.P. Morgan, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Okay, so there's some of the big banks that report. Who else? Johnson and Johnson. Okay, so some big tech companies here: Netflix and TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, Pepsi, and American Express as well. All right, then I asked AI what days exactly this week. Let's see what it says. JP Morgan Tuesday, Citigroup Tuesday, Wells Fargo Tuesday, Bank of America today, Goldman Sachs today, Morgan Stanley today, Johnson and Johnson today, Netflix tomorrow. Okay, for any Netflix shareholder, they'll report earnings tomorrow. Same with Taiwan Semiconductor tomorrow, Pepsi and American Express later this week. All right, so those are the companies reporting earnings this week. Mostly big banks already yesterday. Netflix tomorrow and TSM tomorrow. Okay, so that's what's going on in terms of earnings. All right, do you guys hold any Netflix shares? Do you guys hold any TSM shares? What do you guys think about earnings? What do you guys think about Broadcom? What do you guys think about what else did we talk about? We talked about crypto week. We talked about inflation report. We talked about Broadcom. What do you guys think about those topics? Drop your thoughts in the chat. Drop your thoughts and comments in the chat. All right, I'm refreshing. I just refreshed CNN Business to see what's going on there. Okay, so let's talk about this article right here. Deals with Trump, kind of what we talked about a few minutes ago. Trump and Powell. Let's share the screen right here. Our first headline on CNN Business right now: markets could freak out if Trump tries to fire Powell. Let's see what this article says. And this article is current as of 7 minutes ago, 12:31. Actually, as of 12 minutes ago. All right, let's see what it says. New York, there could be a revolt in global markets, including a possible collapse in the dollar and U.S. bonds. Okay, let's pause right there. Let's pause right there. All right, let me X the ad first. Okay, ad. Okay, there could be a revolt in global markets, including a possible collapse in the dollar and U.S. bonds. Okay, let's pause for the cause right there. Let's meditate on that sentence right there. There could be a revolt in global markets, including a possible collapse in the dollar and U.S. bonds. Okay, what are we going to do? If that happens, what are we going to do? Are we going to be prepared? Are we going to do nothing? Are we going to have a plan? Are we going to be, what's the plan of action? Is there a plan of action? Okay, assuming this happens, what's the plan of action? If this doesn't happen, what's the plan of action? Let's see here. If President Donald Trump were to take the unprecedented step of removing Federal Reserve Chair Powell from the helm of the central bank, as the president has suggested he could do, the U.S. dollar index, which measures the dollar's strength against 6 major foreign currencies, dropped as much as 0.8% Wednesday morning after reports that Trump was moving closer to removing the Fed chair. All right, so one financial resource says he's not going to fire Powell. This one says he could fire Powell. All right, so we want to be prepared either way. Okay, we don't want to be reactive. We want to be proactive. We should be good either way. Trump later Wednesday told reporters at the White House it is unlikely he would fire Powell, pushing back media reports. Okay, that was earlier today. We'll see what actually happens later today, and in the near future. We're not planning on doing anything, Trump said. I don't rule anything out, but I think it's highly unlikely unless he has to leave for fraud. The dollar index pared its losses after Trump's remarks and was down just 0.3% as of midday. All right. All right, here's what I was trying to get at. Trump wants lower interest rates. He thinks ousting Powell will make a difference, but most market analysts think it would send a signal that the Fed has lost its independence. U.S. markets have been volatile this year as Trump has ramped up his criticisms of Powell, demanding the central bank lower interest rates. Okay, so what do you guys think about Trump beefing with Powell? The Fed's independence is paramount. Financial markets favor independent central banks that can focus on inflation and the labor market without concerns of political interference. Investors perceive the U.S. as a great place to invest specifically because of the nation's strong institutions. All right, so if I scroll down here, Wall Street thinks Powell's is safe. Markets in recent days have not been pricing in the possibility of Powell's removal. This guy said he expects the dollar would drop 3% to 4% in 24 hours if Powell were fired, which is enormous a move in currency markets. The empirical and academic evidence on the impact of a loss of central bank independence is fairly clear. All right, so this article goes on to mention swift destabilization. All right, so what do you guys think about this? Trump, who favors lower rates and has even proposed a rate cut of 3 points, which would be an unprecedented step in itself, a market-moving event, has long talked about removing Powell for not lowering borrowing costs quickly enough. Let's see what else. The Supreme Court thus far has signaled it would uphold the Fed chair's position other than a for-cause removal, which is interpreted in legal terms as narrowly related to misconduct. Okay, so this is the leading headline on CNN Business as of right now. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Okay, I see one person says they're going to buy more crypto, stack and save. $1 trillion question. Yeah, what are you going? Yeah, exactly. $1 trillion question. What are you going to do about it? $1 trillion question, right? What are we going to do about it? We're not going to get caught off guard. We're not going to be reactive. We're not going to cry and complain. We're not going to blame the economy after the fact. We're not going to blame Trump after the fact. We're not going to blame racism after the fact. We're not going to blame inflation after the fact. When we knew the writing was on the wall, what are you going to do about it? Doing nothing is a course of action, right? We could do something about it. That's a course of action. Do nothing is also a course of action. What are you going to do about it? Someone says, marry the cash flow. Marry the cash flow, not the ticker. Well, all my tickers need attention. Should I roll or take the cash? Those tickers, not sure what to do. Thanks. Marry the cash flow. All my tickers need attention. Should I roll or take? So this is an option question. Marry the cash flow, not the ticker. Depends on your objectives. You might have long-term objectives. You might have cash flow objectives. You may have short-term cash flow needs. You might not have short-term cash flow needs. So it kind of depends on what your objective is. A lot of the time, there's no black or white clear answer on what I should do versus what you should do versus what a third person should do. We all have different objectives. We all have different cash flow needs. We all have different risk tolerances. We all have different experience levels. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do may be different or might be the same as what I'm trying to do. might be the same or different as a third person what they're trying to do, right? A lot of the time, the correct answer on what to do is it depends on what you're trying to what your objective is. Okay, so I'm looking at the market here. Let me check my notes here. All right, so we talked about some of the companies that are reporting earnings this week. I wanted to take another look at the market before we wrap. Okay, so not too much has changed in the last 30 minutes or so. Here's what's going on in the market. Here's a live look at the market, mostly green. S&P, I believe, the all-time high. Let's take a look at the S&P here. Let's check if this chart will. Okay, so 6 months. Okay, so I gotta maybe pull up Yahoo Finance for this, but S&P currently at 622. Okay, so back on what is it? Yesterday. Okay, so yesterday it was about in the high 620s. Okay, so let's pull back just slightly. 622. What else do we have here? Actually, let me pull up Yahoo Finance. Let me pull up Yahoo Finance. I want to go through some of the charts on some of these indexes. Let me stop sharing this one. Stop sharing that one. Let me share Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance. All right. Hopefully you can see the Yahoo Finance screen. Let's take a look at the S&P. Oh, I think I'm sharing the wrong one. I got two of them open. Bear with me. Okay, I closed the wrong one. My bad. Let me share this one. Let me share this one. Let me share the right one. All right, let me pull up. Okay, so hopefully you can see the S&P there. I want to pull up the chart on the S&P. You scroll down a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you can see that chart right there. Okay, so let's go to the 6 month first. All right, let me see if this. Okay, this chart's on a little bit of a delay. Let's see what the 6 month looks like. Come on, chart. All right, let's see what happened here. I don't know what happened here. Let me go back. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Hopefully the chart will cooperate this time. If I click chart, I would just click the 6 months right here. If I click the 6 months, hopefully it'll load. Okay, so all right, so it's okay. So let's see which one this is. This one is the. Let me go back here. I'm messing up this chart here. Okay, so that's interval. Let's see here. Okay, so that's the 1 month, I believe, right there. I want to go back to that previous view. How do I get back to that previous view summary? Okay, hopefully you can see the summary tab. I want to pull up the 6 month there. Okay, there's a 6 month. Okay, this is the view I wanted. Year to date up about 6%. Okay, 1 year up about 10%. Okay, so up about 10% the last year. Last 5 years up 94%. Okay, so we're in July 2025, right? So we're exactly halfway through this decade, right? We're halfway through this decade. Okay, so look at the S&P return so far this decade. The last 5 years, up 94%. Okay. We're up 94% halfway through this decade. The last 5 years, all time, 1,300% return all time. Okay. All right. So that's the S&P. Similar story in the Nasdaq. Similar story in the Nasdaq. Triple Q. Nasdaq Triple Q currently at 556. Let me see if the chart will load. Okay, so there's the 1 day. Let's take a look at the year to date, up 8%. 1 year, 12%. 5 year. So okay, so 5 years so far this decade, last 5 years. Compared to the S&P up 94%, the Nasdaq is up 114%, almost 115%. All time instead of what was the S&P up? Was it 1,300%? I forget what the this one's up 988%. All right, let's see here. We got a few minutes before we wrap. Any ticker lookups? Drop them in the chat. Any ticker lookups? Drop them in the chat. I know I'm missing a whole bunch of comments. Let me scroll up. Let me check comments. Okay. I own AVGO and an ETF with it in its holdings. Okay, good for you. Good for you. I also own a few shares of Nvidia bought before this 15. Okay, the split. Okay, good for you. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So Oklo, ASTS, SMR. Let's check the SMR. Let's check SMR. SMR. New Scale Power Corporation. Let's see what's going on with this one. Okay, currently at 43, almost 44. Let's see what's going on with SMR. New Scale Power. So what do they do? What do they do here? What do they do? Let's see what they do. Provides small modular reactor tech solutions. It offers new scale water reactor generate that many meg. Okay, the company was founded. Okay, so they are small nuclear reactor tech solutions. Okay, all right. So that's currently at just under 44. Okay, so 5 days they shot up a lot. They shot up 23, 24% last 5 days. So what happened in the last 5 days with this ticker? Do they have earnings or something? So the next time they report earnings is 8/7. 1 month they're okay. So 1 month they're up 3%. 6 month a lot, 116%. Year to date 144. 1 year 182. 5 years 336, and all time. Okay, 336. Okay, that's what's going on with SMR. What else do we have? Okay, let's take a look at QBTS. QBTS. I'm not familiar with this one. QBTS. QBTS. D-Wave Quantum Inc. Okay. Currently at 1669. What do they do? What do they do? Let's see what they do. Develop and deliver quantum computing systems, software, and services worldwide. Offers Advantage and Advantage 2 quantum computers, Ocean suite of open source tools, Leap Quantum Cloud Service, cloud-based service that provides real-time access to quantum computers. Okay. All right, so this company is currently at 1673. 5 days up about 2%. 1 month up about 4%. 6 month up a lot though. 6 month up a lot. 187%. Actually, let's go back to the 6 months. So back in February, they were at what? $6. Now they're at almost $17. Wow. Okay, so quantum computing, D-Wave Quantum Inc., QBTS. That's what's going on with them. Let's see here. I have to drop. I have to drop, man. Okay. Thank you for joining, Alana. Sold the put. Okay, good. Selling weekly option calls on D-Wave. Okay, good for you. Sold a put on QBTS. QBTS. Okay, good for you. And one on QUBT. Okay, I'm not familiar with with that ticker. QUBT. Let's take a look at that one right quick. QUBT. Quantum Computing. Okay, Quantum Computing Inc. Currently at 1811. What do? They do integrated photonics company. An integrated photonics company provides quantum machines to commercial and government markets in the U.S. Company develops thin film lithium niobate chips for optical devices, such as this. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right. So currently at 18 and some change, 5 day down 5%, 1 month down 14%, 6 month down. Oh no, 6 month up 66. All right. So what's going on with this company? They were down the last 5 days. They were down a lot the last month, up a lot in the last 6 months, up 9% year to date. So this is a very volatile company here. 1 year up crazy the last 1 year. Up 6%, 600% the last 5 years. So you look at this chart. Look at that 5 year chart. Look at that 5 year chart. They were flat for multiple years. Then they shot up, pulled back a little bit, then shot back up. That's quantum computing, ticker symbol QUBT. What do you guys think about that? All right, so that's what's going on with these quantum computing tickers. All right. All right, so today we talked about several things. We talked about the inflation. We talked about Broadcom. We talked about Trump and Powell. What else did we talk about? We talked about Crypto Week. Took a look at some of the current headlines on some of these financial resources. We meet every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern, on either the Financial Juneteenth YouTube channel or the Black Boss channel on YouTube. So if this is a value add, to you, join in Wednesdays noon Eastern. Until next week, Wednesday, keep getting what you deserve. Keep studying, keep preparing, and keep building your wealth. Until next week, check you out next week. Peace.